I really waited until I knew, like I knew, you know, after the Hooker fight, it was kind of emotional, and I lost the fight. I'm far away from home. It was a struggle. But then I did find that fire again when I got the RDA fight, and I went back into camps. I was helping Sean Brady get ready for fights, and I was hitting pads, I was lifting again, I was doing all those things, and then just slowly over time, I just started drifting back towards doing my own thing and really just loving doing this triathlon stuff on my own, having time of seeing my daughter every day after school, dropping her off at school, training in my own, my own little pain cave at home in the garage and getting stuff done. I don't think I'm going to get to the belt. I think this is the first time where I finally really think, like, after those 2 losses in a row, watching guys like Jacare break their arm, watching guys like Cowboy fight 5 more fights past when I think they should, and I'm like, I'm not going to be that guy. I've said from the very beginning of this sport, I won't be that guy that fights past his expiration date, and I think it's here. And I think maybe it's a touch early, but I'd rather be a touch early than a touch late.
I was going to ask, how hard is that decision, right? Because that's the kind of the bad part about this gig, right, is when you walk away is when you're making the most money, right? Yeah. I mean, you're making more money now per fight. And
I got a new contract I haven't even gotten to fight on yet. So that just shows you that this isn't an easy decision, and it's not one where, it's not like I wasn't getting the things I want. That's when you know it's time. If a brand new contract just handed to me by the UFC without even negotiating, after that RDA fight, they took my contract, which still had 3 more fights on it, and they threw it out and they said, here's your new one. And it was a good one. It's the one I've always wanted, or at least close to it. You know, obviously, if I keep winning fights, it'll get better. But who am I going to fight? Who am I going to fight right now? There's plenty of guys below me that are amazing. Islam Makhachev, Diego Fajeda, Gregor Gillespie. Yeah, they can probably beat me. I can probably beat them. I'm not excited about it. Tony Ferguson, 3-fight losing streak. Not excited about that. Don't want to do that. I don't want to do, a week in the hospital, breaking my orbital, breaking my face, puncturing a lung, more scars and cuts than I can even count. I don't want that anymore.
Do you know when the moment was that you actually decided, yes, that's it? Because, you mentioned some things that you've witnessed, but, you still have to make a final decision. When was it?
My mom brought up a good point. She said when I was younger as in, throughout most of my career, if I couldn't get to the gym, an MMA gym, to either hit pads, grapple, spar, do something, I would lose my freaking mind. And I have not been in an MMA gym in probably 3 months. And then before that, it might have been 1 pad session where I did 5 rounds, and then it was like, I don't feel like doing this. So yeah, that spark that I need to fight, especially the way I fight, it just wasn't there anymore. And I was like, wow, you're right. If I'm not itching to even get to training and do this stuff, and I'm getting fight offers, and I'm just not. And the only reason it took this long is because I really gave everybody a chance to kind of convince me, and the UFC was really patient with me and really good with me. Sean Shelby called me several times, had a conversation with me to see where my head was at. We had this conversation twice now recently, and then the second one I finally called him back the other day, and I was like, I'm retiring on Saturday. I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'll be upset, and watching the highlights and stuff like that was getting me emotional. And I just can't believe it's been October of 2014. I can still remember that week in Canada, Halifax, Canada, like it was yesterday. And, Danny Castillo knockout. And yeah, it's been good. But I said, if I'm not going to be the champion, if I'm not going to fight for that belt, then it's time to hang it up. And I don't see myself beating all these guys ahead of me.
Well, I was going to say, so that's the interesting part, right? It sounds like you're really comfortable with the decision, but Charles Oliveira wins the title. Yeah. Is there any part of you that the blood started flowing inside of you? Wait a minute.
It didn't. And if you're the last guy to knock out the current champion and you're not, because it's not the same guy. He's a beast now. I'm not saying I couldn't potentially beat him. I still think to this day that there's not a guy on the roster that on any given day, I couldn't beat. But I just don't think I'm going to get the fights and then string together the wins that are going to get me the momentum to get to that fight when you've got the Poirier and the McGregor fight coming up. You've got Charles with the belt, and Chandler's still in the mix. Hooker doesn't have a fight right now. Makhachev's surging right now. I'm not going to beat all these guys, and one setback is just like, all right, that's it. I'm not going to get there. So I'll just hold on to that knockout of Charles Oliveira and get the hell out of here and be like, all right, yep, you're never getting that one back, buddy. I knocked your ass out, but now you're the champion and you look great doing it. And your teeth, they're fantastic.